Poland is often remembered as a victim, as it was the first to come under pressure from the Nazi and Soviet armies. However, it's often forgotten that Poland pursued an equally aggressive policy as Germany before the start of World War II and was even allied with the Germans at times. And in this video we will look at Poland from a different perspective, not as a victim but as an aggressor. Poland began pursuing an expansionist policy practically from the moment of its rebirth in late 1918. Pilsudski proclaimed the birth of Poland within the borders of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth before its partitions. The Entente countries contributed to the restoration of Poland. It was supposed to become a barrier between Bolshevism and the rest of Europe, as well as weaken Germany, which was of particular interest to France. The beginning of Polish aggression can be considered the Polish-Ukrainian War, which began in November 1918. Closer to the end of World War I, the so-called Western Ukrainian People's Republic was created on the territory inhabited by Ukrainians, which was part of Austria-Hungary. However, the Poles did not even consider them and began open confrontation. During this war, the Ukrainians were defeated, and the lands were annexed to Poland. Following this war, the Soviet-Polish War began, unleashed in the struggle for Ukrainian and Belarusian lands between the Bolsheviks and the Poles. National republics already existed on these lands, but neither the Poles nor the Bolsheviks particularly considered them. Thus, Poland again demonstrated its aggressive policy aimed at seizing foreign lands. The war lasted 2 years and proceeded with variable success. Both sides set themselves the task of fully capturing the lands of Ukraine and Belarus, but in the end they came to a compromise, and the lands were divided between Poland and Soviet Russia. Poland's conflicts did not end there. It's worth remembering that the territories of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth were significant. So, simultaneously with the aforementioned wars, there was also a war between Lithuania and Poland for territories, led by the city of Vilnius, which is now the capital of Lithuania. The territories were easily captured and, after a couple of years, annexed to Poland. In addition, Poland participated in a short-term war in Czechoslovakia due to unresolved borders, and Poland was able to acquire a small part of the lands here as well. In just the first couple of years after its creation, Poland unleashed full wars with various countries and was essentially the initiator of all these conflicts. Moreover, these wars were aimed at expanding its territories, not reclaiming Polish ones. The annexed lands were mainly inhabited by people of other nationalities, be it Ukrainians, Belarusians, or Lithuanians. During the Munich Agreement, Poland also took advantage of the situation and conspired with the Germans. I remind you that under the Munich Agreement, the Sudeten land was transferred to Germany from Czechoslovakia. Thus, the Poles, desiring to capture the Teschen region, also presented an ultimatum to Czechoslovakia. Under pressure from many European countries, including France and Britain, Czechoslovakia made all possible concessions. Thus, Poland again managed to expand its territories through the use of force in the form of an ultimatum. It's also worth noting that the Soviet Union opposed the transfer of the Sudetenland. However, it was Poland that prevented the deployment of Soviet troops on the territory of Czechoslovakia. It's understandable since the Poles pursued personal interests. A year after this event, Poland found itself in the place of Czechoslovakia and was divided between Germany and the Soviet Union. As for Poland's internal policy, it was also not sweet. A harsh dictatorship was established in the country, all dissent was suppressed, conquered peoples were oppressed, there was a ban on languages, and violent Polonization of the population took place, and concentration camps even appeared. In conclusion, it can be confidently stated that Poland was far from being a victim of circumstances, but itself acted as an aggressor for a long time and fought in all directions. Moreover, in some ways, it contributed to the growth of Germany's power and openly expressed its disapproval of the Soviet Union, for which it paid with division in 1939.